All right, so this race recap is going to be the John Thomas Terrier Classic. So we're going to be watching the 3K, which the U.S. national record is set in this race by Yared Nuguse. Now, we'll see what the time is, and here they're lining up to start. There's some really fast people in this race. You got Adam Fogg, just signed a pro contract out of Drake. Hobbs Kessler, one of the fastest, or the fastest 1,500 meter runner in high school to ever live in the U.S. And you have many other fast runners like Drew Bosley, who I believe just set the 5K indoor collegiate record with about a 13:09, I believe. And yeah, it's going to be a pretty fast race. Boston is known to be a fast track, and they're out in the first 200 meters in about 29-30 seconds. So if they're trying to run a 7:30, 30 seconds is the exact pace, which is 4-minute mile pace. So they're doing pretty good pacing here. Don't want to go out too hard, especially when you're going for a fast time. And you can see Yared Nuguse there running for On Athletics in 3rd place there. Mario Garcia-Romo in 5th, who was the indoor champion last year for the NCAA mile. So he's pretty quick. I believe he just signed a pro contract for On Athletics also.
59 seconds.
And here they're coming up on 400, around 59, 1 minute. So they're doing pretty good, pacing pretty evenly and look pretty relaxed. I believe we have a few pacers out there. So Yared Nuguse is either first or second. I know one of those is a pacer at least. And yeah, they're pacing well, and they just got to hold it. Now, Boston, like I said, is a very fast track. This meet is known for very fast distance times, especially. And coming up on 600 here with another 30. They just keep clocking these 30s. Pro runners can hit splits to the 10th of a second, quarter second, and they can pace pretty well. They know how to run a controlled race, not going too hard. Now, the 3K is an interesting event because they don't run it outdoors. They run the 3K steeple, but they don't run the actual 3,000 meter just run outdoors. So the 3,000 is a mix of 1,500 meter runners and 5K runners. They kind of meet in the middle. It's the middle. If you're a 1,500 meter runner, you're doing this, see what you can do for a longer distance, build some strength, and yeah, especially in the earlier part of the season because they're not focusing as much on speed when you're in the winter. And then for the distance runners, it's a great chance to see your speed without going down to the mile, which is a little low because you got to do a little bit more speed training. But a 3K and 5K training are pretty similar. Mile and 5K are very different. So the 3K is a nice middle for all track events, whether it's from the 100 to the marathon. The 3K kind of fits right in the middle. Now they're at the K here, 2:30. This is perfect pacing if you want a 7:30. Usually pro runners like this, if they're not going too hard in the beginning, they're able to negative split, especially in the last 800, 600 meters. They do a really good job of giving it their all and pacing it to perfection. Now, the rabbits are still out there, and 2:30 is no joke for a lot of people. Think about that. It's 4-minute pace, and these guys are going to do it for around 2 miles. This is very quick. If this was a 3,200 race and they held this 4-minute pace, it would be around an 8-minute. Like, this would be a very fast time for 3,200. And they know it. They're going quick. Now, Yared Nuguse, you can see he's struggling a little bit, I think. You can see his form isn't as good, but he's still relaxed, still controlled, still keeping the pace. But this is where it gets hard in the 3K. Once you get past the first K, first 1,200, from experience, I know once you get past that first K, it gets hard. The second K, third K, those are both very hard. The last 400 usually takes care of itself, but from the K to the 25, 2,600, it's pretty hard. The 3K is, since it's in the middle, it's like a balance of speed and strength. So it's very painful. In my opinion, one of the most painful races in track because it's like, for me, it's around 10 minutes. For these guys, it's around 8 minutes, but it's spread around a certain amount of time where it's almost like a sprint, but not a sprint. It's sprint and endurance, so it gets that perfect balance, but it's painful. So it's hard to run a great 3K, but these guys are very good at taking on the pain, taking on a challenge. That's why they're a pro runner. You can't be a pro runner and be weak and give up. You have to be able to give it your all and give it everything you got. All right, now they're coming up on 1,800 meters here. 4:30 would be 4-minute pace, and they're a little slow, only a second. But for these pro runners, if they're a second off going into the final 400, they can easily they can easily run a 58 or a 59. It should be no problem for them. Now you see the pacer stepped off. Now Yared Nuguse needs to pick it up a little bit here. He realizes they just ran around a 31 and they keep going at that pace. They're not going to get any records. So they need to get back on pace, run those 30s. Now he's making not a kick but a surge, and he's pulling away a little bit from second place here. He's the only one in this field who can probably run under 7:30. And now he's coming through the 2K, 5 minutes there. So that's, like I said, perfect pacing. 2:30, 5 minutes, that's exactly what they need to be at. And if you're on pace through 2K, it mentally is very nice to know that you're mentally there through 2K. Because then all you know, you just got to make it through the next 600 and the last 400 will take care of itself. So now, with 800 to go, he's at around 5:30 there. Perfect pacing, just ran a 30. Now, he has 800 to go, and he only has to close it in a 2 minute. Now, for these guys, a 2 minute 800 is pretty easy. But at the end of a 3K, it's not that easy. So now, he's really fighting. Just 700 meters to go. 7:30 is Galen Rupp's indoor record. So that's what he's chasing, 4 minute pace. So he needs to stay ahead of 6 minutes on the split if he wants to break it. So 5:59, 6 to 6:01. So he's right on pace, only 600 to go. Now this is where they start winding up their kick. Especially runners like Jakob Ingebrigtsen, Centrowitz, they always wind up their kicks with 600 out because that's the best way to have your kick and run the fastest. Unless you're Cole Hawker, who can run a 12-second in the last 100 of a mile or a 3K, that's the best way to run your last final laps. And now coming up with 400 to go, 6:30, 31, 30, 31. So he's a second off pace, just needs to pick it up a little bit here and to break 7:30. Now he's going hard. Now this is now it's a battle. Now he's giving everything he has. 300 meters to go now. He's giving everything he's got, and no one's really close to him. He's just all out there alone pretty much, not being challenged by second place. Now coming up to the bell lap here, 6:58, 59, 7 minutes, right on pace. So all he has to run is a 29, and he'll get the record. 7:30 is the record, so let's see what he can do here. Now he's going hard. You can see his stride is going quicker, and he is moving. His arms are moving too. All right, 100 meters to go, around 7:15. Let's see what he can do the last 100 here. Gapping second place. 7:23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. 7:28.24 was the official time. So this is an American record, and Yared Nuguse set it, and he broke the original record from Galen Rupp by 2 seconds. Previous record was 7:30. And second place, Sam Atkin at 7:31. Mario Garcia, the former indoor mile champion from last year, at 7:34. Adisu Yahun, definitely did not pronounce that right, at a 7:36. Drew Bosley set an NCAA record at 7:36.42. Hobbs Kessler ran a 3:34 1500 as a high schooler, ran a 7:39 indoor 3K at the BU race. And then Yassine Abdallah at 7:42, Fog Dog 7:44. Great race, and hope you guys drop a like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.